right now. And this mushroom is called the Amanita muscaria. And it basically translates to the holy mushroom.
Mm-hmm.
Now, looking at this picture, the Amanita muscaria, if you look at this picture, it looks just like what Santa Claus would look like. It's got the red bell mushroom cap. It's got the white spots. What color is Santa Claus's suit?
Red and white. Red with white trim.
Exactly. All right, so if I could, and it translates to the holy mushroom. Now, one famous Christmas song is "Silent Night, Holy Night." Exactly. So, okay, okay, I don't even know how to break this down, but
Silent Night was about the birth of Jesus.
Right. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's see if I can. Okay. Let's see. The story of Santa and his flying reindeer can be traced to an unlikely source or very likely source in hallucinogenic or magic mushrooms, according to a positive or very credible theory. Santa is a modern counterpart of a shaman who consumed mind-altering plants and fungi to commune with the spirit world. Here's some ways that it contributes to the Christmas thing. So Arctic shamans gave out mushrooms on the winter solstice. When does Christmas happen? Mm-hmm. In the wintertime, right?
Yeah, well, the solstice is 21st or 22nd. I think it's 21st, right?
I don't know.
Or 23rd. December, December 21st, because remember the Mayans had the December 21st countdown. Yeah.
All right, so this shamans, the legend of Santa derives from shamans in the Siberian and Arctic regions who dropped into locals' teepee-like homes with a bag full of hallucinogenic mushrooms, mainly being the Amanita muscaria, the holy mushroom, in late December. As the story goes, up until a few hundred years ago, these practicing shamans or priests connected to the older traditions would collect Amanita muscaris, dry them, and give them as gifts on the winter solstice. Another thing, mushrooms, like they were given as gifts, Santa Claus gives gifts, are found beneath pine trees. So your Christmas tree is a pine tree. Under this pine tree grows these mushrooms that look just like Santa. That's just one of the symbolic connections between the Amanita muscaria mushroom and the iconography of Christmas. According to several historians, people who study fungi's influence on human societies. Of course, not all scientists agree that the Santa story is tied to hallucinogens, but as you look deeper, it does start to make sense. This partially explains the practice of the Christmas tree. Why do people bring pine trees into their houses at the winter solstice?
Wow.
Placing brightly colored red and white packages under their brows as gifts to show their love as each other. Now, here's the thing. Reindeers, being deers or caribou, they are addicted to this particular mushroom.
As one would, yes.
Right. So what they would do, the shaman or the locals would eat the mushroom that's red and white, looks like Santa Claus. And this mushroom was given to me as a gift. So as we have a house full of these beautiful mushrooms, these reindeer or caribou are so infatuated with this fungi that they will literally, they don't care about hunters, they don't care about predators, they don't care about anything. They're going to do what?
Out of their way to find it.
100%.
Yes.
So that's where the reindeer comes along. So, and what a lot of people think is that this mushroom giving you hallucinogenic properties. Go ahead.
I got it.
Go. Let me hear it. Because I need help.
So, the shaman would look for these mushrooms to hand out as presents.
Right.
Right, for Christmas.
Well, there wasn't no Christmas, but go ahead.
This was before?
Well, it was the winter solstice. It wasn't called Christmas.
Okay, well, yes, for the winter solstice. He would give them out as presents, right?
Right.
And they were found under the pine trees. he would follow the reindeer around because they're looking for those mushrooms. If you follow the reindeer, you're behind the reindeer. You follow them to find the mushrooms. That's the presents that you're going to give out to the community.
Wowzers. Damn, I didn't even make that connection, but that was a good one.
That's amazing.
That's great. Man, okay, so here's some more things. Shamans who gave them out, they would dress similar to Santa Claus. They would have on a red robe, sometimes with a black belt, and most of them were fat because they were worshipped in their communities, and people would bring them, hey, you...
Of course, they didn't have to work. They didn't have to do manual labor.
If you wanted, excuse me, guys, if you wanted a curse lifted, bring me 3 steaks, bring me 3 ham bones. So they would get all these gifts to make these shamans fat, dressed in red. And I'm going to give you a gift that I chased these reindeers for, and it's going to make you trip.
Yes.
So... another thing is mushrooms abound in Christmas iconography. Tree ornaments shaped like that mushroom and other depictions of the fungi are also prevalent in Christmas decorations throughout the world, particularly in Scandinavian and Northern Europe. Something else, Rudolph's nose, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, his nose resembles, guess what? A bright red mushroom
cap. Yeah,
exactly. They point out that Rudolph as another example of the mushroom imagery resurfacing. His nose looks exactly like a red mushroom. It's amazing that a reindeer with a red mushroom nose is at the head, leading the others. So the one that
because he was the smartest one that would lead the entire pack to where these mushrooms were. Exactly. And there you would find the gifts that you could hand out.
Man, you're definitely pulling out some things here. They give me 8 reasons as to why, and my phone. Okay, another thing, a visit from, and of course, hold on, give me a second, guys. All right, here's the next one. It says that a visit from Saint Nick, may have borrowed from shaman rituals. So there was a guy named Saint Nick. So many of the modern details of the modern-day American Santa Claus come from the 1823 poem A Visit from St. Nicholas, which later became famous as 'Twas the Night
Before Christmas.
Yes, sir. The origins of Moore's vision are unclear, although author think the poet probably drew from Northern European motifs that derive from Siberian, at the very least. And the final one says Santa is from the Arctic. Santa connection is flawed. If you looked at the evidence of Siberian shamanism, which I've done, you find that shamans traveled by sleigh that had deer or domesticated caribou, to reach this Arctic climate, which this mushroom grows.
Yes.
So there's a lot of things here that
that makes a lot of sense, man.
Break some down to me. I mean, it's
even Rudolph. I mean, if you take the best finder of the mushrooms, I mean, Rudolph's nose was a beacon, right? So that you could find your way through the night.
Right.
If you hook your sleigh to these caribou and they are searching out these mushrooms no matter where they are, you're going to find the best finder, put him up front as the beacon, as the finder.
He's your GPS to the mushroom.
You hook your sleigh up to them, you find all the presents you want to give out.
Exactly. So then when he gets those quote-unquote presents, brings them to the natives, oh, thank you, shaman. You showed up at my house with all your reindeer and these beautiful red mushrooms.
Yes.
So now I take this beautiful red mushroom. And now you're thinking, man, this guy just pulled up at my house with all these reindeer. He was in a red suit. He bought me gifts, and now it's opening portals in my mind to where I can see this, that, the third.
He's magic.
He's magical. He's magical.
That's amazing.
It's crazy, guys. I wish I knew more about this topic, but
we could definitely revisit this next year.
Definitely, guys. I know this sounds crazy, but
when you really break it down, is it that crazy? That could definitely be what happened.
I mean, you made a great connection with the reindeer leading the pack, the shamans traveling in a sleigh. the red and white mushroom that looks just like Santa's suit. I mean, it just goes on and on.
Not only when those reindeer eat those mushrooms, they're going to urinate out the spores that will spawn more mushrooms.
And these mushrooms typically grow under Christmas trees.
Yes.
It's crazy, man.
That's amazing.